We made it to Florence. So after 2 trains and a 30 to 40 minute delay, we finally got here, and this is the second half of our little honeymoon travel vlog. So we're in Florence today, tomorrow, and then we leave on, I believe, Friday morning and head to Rome for a few days, and then we will head back to Chicago. So can't believe that it's all happening so quickly. But so we got lucky and snagged some tickets to go into the bell tower here, the church, the baptistry, the museum, and I think one other thing. So gonna take advantage of that. And we just got paninis at an incredible little pizza panini place that one of my friends recommended that Tyler thinks is the best meal we've had on this trip, so pretty high praise. And then we walked by the Duomo just seeing if we could get inside, and we bought some tickets, and we're going to be able to go into the bell tower, which is in front of me, inside the cathedral, and a couple of other places inside. So this is what we're about to climb. I'm like pre-sweating in like anticipation for it, so anxious. 414 steps. Here we go. Steps 140. We made it. One of us is doing worse than the other.
Yeah, you're doing terrible.
So today we just finished day 1 in Venice. As you saw, we went to the Duomo and we climbed the bell tower. You can see from our clips that maybe didn't go that well. Was it worth the view? Probably not. But got in some good exercise, which made me feel a lot better about eating gelato tonight. So win-win scenario, I guess. Tyler got to climb the Duomo and I got to eat gelato at the end of the night and not feel guilty about it. Afterwards, we went to a restaurant that one of my friends recommended after she studied abroad in Florence, and then we went and just walked around some shops, looked at the leather shop, kind of checked the leather scene out before tomorrow we maybe head and try to actually buy some of it, but we'll see how that goes. So, see you tomorrow. After waiting for 2 hours, we're finally getting to buy our tickets to see the David. We're finishing our last day in Venice and we are on our way back to our appartement. What do we do today?
We went to the Gallery of Art, and the main attraction there is the David.
And then we ate at a famous paninery, I guess you could call it.
A paninery?
Yeah. And had lunch there, and it started to rain, so we kind of hightailed it back to our apartment and rested for a few minutes. And then we went to the famous shops along the bridge. And looked at all the beautiful gold jewelry there. Tyler was gonna buy me a piece of jewelry, but unfortunately there was nothing that I was that interested in. And then we kind of came back. We bought some leather gifts for my parents. Tyler got a couple of souvenirs for his, and then we rested for a few hours and went to a nice little restaurant, got gelato, and now we're on our way back before our train to Rome tomorrow.
Yep, one more city.
Benvenuti a Roma. We arrived in Rome like an hour ago and our room wasn't ready, so we're taking in some of the sights. Apparently, Tyler says I'm a little cranky, but that sounds more like a him problem than a me problem. So I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit, and then we're gonna do some of the sightseeing that isn't included on all of the tours that we're gonna do. And then tonight, we're gonna try a cooking class and learn how to make spritzes, some sauces, and some pasta. Here's the Trevi Fountain, famous from the Lizzie McGuire movie. Well, we couldn't get into the Pantheon. We were like 5 people away, and then the machines cut off for last closing time. I know Tyler's disappointed, but now we're on our way where?
To the Largo di Argentina.
Which is?
Which is apparently where Julius Caesar was assassinated.
We're about to climb more things. I don't know how he keeps talking me into climbing stuff, but now to the Spanish Steps. Next up, we headed to a cooking class with Rome with Chef. We learned how to make pasta, Aperol spritzes, and also a carbonara sauce. Highly recommend. It's something kind of tangible that we can now take back with us to the States. Next up, to Vatican City. I'd highly recommend a guide for this, as you can just see how crowded it is. There were so many different security checkpoints and just various things where we were so confused about where to go, what to say, what to buy, and all of it, that having a guide was so helpful. Call me ignorant, but I thought that the Vatican was much smaller than what it actually was, but there were just so many buildings to navigate that I would have just been really lost if it was just Tyler and I. That alone made it totally worth the money for us. Yeah, we got some information that we wouldn't have had otherwise, but just the logistics of going to the Vatican made the guide worth it. I definitely just underestimated how many different buildings there would be, and art sculptures and paintings and tapestries and maps and rugs and just so many different things to see just beyond the Sistine Chapel and St. Peter's Basilica. So it was really great also having the guide just to kind of like point out what was worth seeing and what was worth knowing, because I cannot underemphasize just how much stuff is in the Vatican. Now, as you may know, you're not allowed to take any photos or videos inside the Sistine Chapel, but here is tons of clips from our short experience inside St. Peter's Basilica. The cathedrals, the basilicas, even just the everyday churches are so different from what we have in the United States, and that was really cool to see and experience. And then after this, we headed back to the Pantheon because we were finally able to get inside and then prepared to see the Colosseum. So we finished the Pantheon tour and then got lunch, and now we are waiting before we go on our ancient Rome tour. Overall, Pantheon was cool to see something that old, and obviously wish it still had like the original like Greek and Roman gods in it, but I guess converting it to a church to kind of save it, so it is what it is. But went and do on our ancient Rome tour and soaking up the shade while we can. And then we headed on our guided tour of the Colosseum and ancient Rome. We used a lot of guided tours when we were in Rome just to make sure that we kind of got in everything that we wanted to see. And also, obviously, it provides a lot of information that Tyler and I wouldn't have been able to discover and learn on our own. I think this is actually the best guided tour that we did while we were in Italy. Our tour guide, Lumi, was just beyond incredible. Not only did she have tons of information, but she was super friendly and funny and joked with us and just gave us really a glimpse into what life was like for the ancient Romans, and also kind of how that has influenced life in Rome today. Definitely not something that we could have gotten exploring on our own. And then, of course, after our super long travel day, we got to go back to our Airbnb, where we tried to convince our host that there was something wrong with the shower, that it wasn't draining, as you can see there. And because this is like a flat shower where like there's no ridge between the shower and the rest of the bathroom, we were unable to use the shower while we were there for 4 days. So that was fun. And he refused to believe us that it was a problem, and then refused to give us a partial refund. Last day of our trip. We're gonna leave Rome in like an hour or two, so all very sad. So I didn't get to update yesterday because my camera died, but basically after the ancient Roman tour, we went to dinner at a place recommended by our tour guide. Probably not as good as she made it out to be, but it was fine, and a expensive way to end dinner in Rome. From there, we went back to our Airbnb, where we got locked out because I couldn't access the door code because my phone was dead. So I had a little crisis, but thanks to my good old memory, I eventually figured it out and we got in. So on our way back to collect our stuff before we take the train, we bought a room in a hotel really close to the airport for tonight since our flight's super early in the morning. So we're gonna head there, check in, and then spend some time at the beach. We finally found the beach and spent about 2 hours there, and now we're ending our trip to Italy with a classic American meal. It has been a few days since we've gotten back, and we are so happy to be home. I get to go back to Europe here in just a couple of days, so let me know if you guys are interested in seeing any more travel content. I definitely know this is out of the ordinary of what I'm usually putting out, but let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I'll see you next time.